welcome to another episode of Untold Legends, where we explore the stories found within the world of video games, movies, comic books, and anything in between. Last time in the Mortal Kombat timeline, we detailed the history of one of Earthrealm's greatest heroes and fiercest protectors, the brother of Bi-Han, Kuai Liang, the younger Sub-Zero.
I disown you in every way.
Then disown my name, Sub-Zero.
The name was grandfather's first.
Round one, fight!
We saw Kuai Liang adopt his brother's identity to honor him, his quest to destroy the Cyber Lin Kuei and retake his clan, and his eventual friendship with Hanzo Hasashi after years of tensions and rivalry. Today, we'll be discussing one of the most unique combatants in the series and one of the strangest, changing appearances from game to game, from just another ninja-style character to a dinosaur monster. One of Mortal Kombat's most popular punching bags and tattletales, this is the story of Syzoth, more commonly referred to as Reptile.
Shao Kahn's lackeys must die.
I served you well.
You served me his lies.
Reptile wins.
Many players associate Reptile's original appearance with Mortal Kombat 2, since that was the first time he was playable, but he was in the original game as an unplayable character. Like so many combatants that would pop up throughout the series, he joins the ranks of those that began as secrets, rumors, and whispers among friends at the arcade. The addition of Reptile in the Mortal Kombat series came late in the development process, and originated in Ed Boon's mind as he was driving back from lunch one day. He noted how successful of a process it was changing a character's color and moveset to create a brand new character. After discussions with co-creator John Tobias, they decided to include a super secret hidden feature, and the concept of Reptile was developed in one evening. Another ninja-style character with green clothing versus Sub-Zero and Scorpion's blue and yellow. He was described as being a cooler version of Scorpion, and Reptile was added into the original roster of combatants in the 3.0 version of the arcade, as a non-playable secret character with no backstory and no name of his own. The developers used his inclusion as a marketing tactic, hoping that word of mouth from players would fuel rumors of Reptile's existence. Sometimes Reptile would appear before matches, giving players clues on how to encounter him, such as "Look to La Luna," implying that the secret to Reptile had to do with the moon. To fight him, the player had to get a double flawless victory without blocking, in single player mode on the pit stage, and finish the match with a fatality. But that wasn't enough. There also had to be a silhouette of Santa Claus flying past the moon, something that occurred in every 6th game. With these conditions satisfied, Reptile would reveal himself in a secret battle. At the time, this mystery character shared the name of Scorpion on his health bar, and his moves were a combination of both Sub-Zero and Scorpion. He could use a kunai to bring his opponent in for a free hit, and he could also shoot an ice blast to freeze them. Over time, false rumors spread that he was secretly playable, and these rumors fueled his appearance in Mortal Kombat 2 as a regular selectable fighter, complete with the name Reptile, and a unique moveset of his own. He became a well-known established character in the series, and his appearance over time continued to evolve into a more reptilian form, purposely hinting at a larger role for the character eventually. He was also included in NBA Jam Tournament Edition alongside other Mortal Kombat characters as an unlockable player, but was removed in later versions at the request of the NBA. Reptile might have lost his amazing basketball skills, but his fatalities were always quite impressive. They usually revolved around gobbling up his opponents or horribly burning them with acid attacks. But how did a lizard man end up in the Mortal Kombat series? And where did he come from? Reptile's actual name is Syzoth, and he belongs to a race of reptilian beings that have been known by many names throughout the series. Raptors, Zatarans, more commonly Saurians. Originally, they were native to Earthrealm and evolved from dinosaurs. They developed complex thought and several abilities such as turning invisible, and being able to shift their appearance slightly to appear more human-like. Saurian society was matriarchal in nature, a society in which females held positions of power and leadership. The matriarch had a biological influence on the rest of the Saurians, and if one of them them drifted away from her influence for too long, they would lose their ability to appear human over time, slowly devolving back into a reptilian form. Eons ago, when the elder god of death Shinnok turned against his fellow elder gods, Raiden and his brethren fought against him. The conflict devastated Earthrealm, and the Saurians fled the destruction, escaping into the realm of Zaterra, a realm that originally had heavy rains and forests. The Saurian refugees rebuilt their society, and they thrived, claiming Zaterra as their own realm. When the Outworld warlord Shao Kahn traveled from realm to realm, he set his sights on Zaterra. After 10 straight losses in Mortal Kombat, Shao Kahn earned the right to merge the realm with Outworld, and most of the Saurians were driven to extinction, except for a small number of survivors. Zaterra was mostly forgotten as one of the many realms forming the Outworld. During the time of the original Mortal Kombat, Reptile was a servant of Shao Kahn, while most of his people became slaves in his empire. Shang Tsung was mostly responsible for representing Outworld in the Mortal Kombat tournaments, something that drew many assassination attempts towards him, and Reptile was assigned to be his direct guardian, protecting him from harm. During the original Mortal Kombat, he stayed camouflaged throughout the tournament, unseen by most, and watched over Shang Tsung. He watched his master lose his match against Liu Kang, and returned to Shao Kahn for further instructions. But Shao Kahn was enraged that his opportunity to take Earthrealm was gone, and took his anger out on Reptile. During the events of Mortal Kombat 2, and Shao Kahn's second attempt to defeat Earthrealm's warriors, Shao Kahn gave orders to Reptile directly, and promised to release the Saurians from slavery if Outworld won. Shao Kahn had no intentions of fulfilling his promise, but Reptile followed his orders anyways. Suspicions were also growing around Shao Kahn's daughter Kitana. She had been in communication with Earthrealm fighters, and Reptile had followed her, but Kitana knew Reptile well and attacked him. Shao Kahn felt no surprise that Kitana would betray him, and the younger Sub-Zero was also on a mission to assassinate Shang Tsung for the Lin Kuei. He surprised the sorcerer, but the ever-watchful Reptile stopped the assassination. Before he had a chance to kill Sub-Zero, Scorpion saved his life and fought Reptile off. Scorpion had taken an oath to protect the younger brother of his old enemy, and kept him at bay while Sub-Zero escaped. Without Reptile as protection, Liu Kang was able to defeat Shang Tsung again, Kintaro, and Shao Kahn in combat. In his non-canon Mortal Kombat 2 ending, Reptile wanted to free his people from slavery, turned against Shang Tsung, and defeated Shao Kahn, then lived peacefully among his people. In the canon version of events, after Shao Kahn's defeat, he invaded Earthrealm directly and vowed to kill Kitana for betraying him. He sent Kitana's longtime friend Jade and Reptile together to capture her, but Reptile was given secret orders. Jade would never take Kitana's life, and Shao Kahn knew that. Reptile was secretly commanded to assassinate Kitana, and was promised that his race would be resurrected if he succeeded. Another lie from the Emperor taking advantage of him. In his non-canon Mortal Kombat 3 and Trilogy ending, Reptile successfully kills Kitana, returns to Shao Kahn for his reward, but he is shunned. Then Reptile murders him. In the canon version of events, Reptile and Jade track down Kitana, and Jade tries to convince her to return to Shao Kahn. But Jade realized that Reptile had been sent to end her life, and Jade joined Kitana and protected her from Reptile. He had failed again, and Liu Kang saved Earthrealm from the Outworld invasion. In the aftermath of Kahn's attack, the realm of Edenia was freed, and Sindel and Kitana took over once again as the royal family, and Reptile was brought back to Edenia as a prisoner and tried for genocide for helping Kahn's forces. Reptile felt no regret and was proud to have served his emperor, something he believed he was doing for his people. He was found guilty and exiled into the Netherrealm, but this punishment would actually benefit Reptile. Shinnok was preparing to escape the Netherrealm, and Reptile grasped the opportunity to join his army of darkness. He hoped that his service would convince Shinnok to restore the Saurian race, and he was made a commander of Shinnok's demon forces. In his non-canon Mortal Kombat 4 and Gold ending, he tries convincing Shinnok to send him back in time to be with his people.
Quan Chi, I have served our Lord Shinnok well in the destruction of Earth's warriors.
Yes, we are most appreciative of your efforts.
Now I wish to return in time to my home world before it was destroyed at the hands of Shao Kahn. As the new ruler supreme of all reality, Shinnok alone has the power to grant me this wish.
You dare make such an impetuous request from your lord and master?
It is a simple request for one of such great power.
It is also not worth his attention.
I demand it. If it were not for warriors such as myself, his attack against Raiden's forces would have failed.
Perhaps you can convey your feelings to Shinnok himself.
What?
Infidel! You are in no position to demand anything. I could kill you with a mere thought.
But we had a deal.
A deal? I am not a god of my word, Reptile. All deals are off!
In the canon version of events, Shinnok is defeated by Liu Kang and Reptile flees into Outworld. In the Outworld, he returned to the weakened Shao Kahn's side, actually the secret clone of himself that Shao Kahn had created. During this time, Reptile had begun reverting into a more reptilian form. He had been separated from his people for so long, the effects were becoming more extreme. He had regrown a tail, and his intellect was also being affected. He struggled to keep control of himself, and while the armies of Edenia and Outworld were fighting for control of the realm, Reptile stayed out of the conflict, protecting Shao Kahn. Kahn requested the services of Shang Tsung, and Reptile was sent to retrieve the sorcerer. But when he arrived from the shadows, he witnessed Shang Tsung and Quan Chi forming an alliance and planning Shao Kahn's murder. Reptile rushed to inform him, but he was distracted by a woman named Natara, a self-serving vampire from the realm of Eternus. She was seeking the power to separate her realm from Outworld. She needed a magical orb outside of her reach and needed allies to help her. Cyrax had the technology she needed to reach it, and she manipulated Reptile into fighting Cyrax. Reptile damaged Cyrax's arm panel that held his transportation technology, and that left him stranded in Outworld. Natara offered to help him return to Earthrealm if he helped her retrieve the orb, and Cyrax agreed. Manipulating both warriors, she also gave Reptile lost knowledge about his civilization and gave him the Kirahashi Blade, an ancient Zaterran artifact as proof of her knowledge. She had also learned the location of Kitana's Edenian forces and shared this with Reptile, pledged his loyalty to Natara, and raced back to Shao Kahn to tell him everything he had learned. But when he arrived, it was too late. The Shao Kahn doppelganger had been killed by Quan Chi and Shang Tsung. Reptile searched for Cyrax and Natara to avenge Shao Kahn. Had he been there, he may have been able to protect the Emperor. Reptile followed her trail, and it led to a chamber holding a dragon egg. Natara and Cyrax were gone with the orb the chamber held, but before Reptile could leave, the egg hatched and a blast of energy was sent into Reptile's body. Reptile was twisted and transformed, losing his personality completely. Onaga the Dragon King had been reborn and used Reptile's body to host his physical form. Reptile was no more, and only the Dragon King remained. Onaga began his attack by reclaiming his immortal army and standing against the combined might of Raiden, Quan Chi, and Shang Tsung. A powerful blast of energy was sent towards him, but Onaga's new physical form was powerful. Eventually, Shijinko, with the combined might of the surrounding combatants, was able to defeat Onaga, but Onaga's spirit had to be separated from Reptile's body. Nightwolf was experienced in many spiritual abilities and traveled to the Netherrealm. He formed a binding spell and summoned Onaga's soul. It plummeted into the depths of the Netherrealm, and Onaga was trapped, leaving Reptile's body to revert to a more humanoid form. Reptile's unconscious body was found by the Red Dragon clan, and he was taken to their base, where they also captured the dragon Karo. They offered to combine Reptile's genetic material with Karo's to create a race of reptilian-human hybrids. Reptile believed this to be an alternate way to revive his race and agreed. He watched over the Red Dragon's experiments and encountered the half-god Taven on a quest to defeat the elemental Blaze.
Close the portal, dragon. I command you.
Karo! Get away from him, lizard!
I am Reptile, and I do not answer to you. Fight! Taven wins.
Reptile escaped, and the Battle of Armageddon was drawing near. Blaze was threatening all of reality, and whoever destroyed him would gain his power. Reptile joined Shinnok's forces of darkness in the final battle. In his non-canon Mortal Kombat Armageddon ending, Reptile discovers a sarcophagus holding a female Zaterran and a chance to restore his race.
As the shockwave caused by Blaze's death rattled the surrounding crater, the pyramid on which Reptile stood began to crumble. A fissure opened to reveal a sarcophagus of familiar design. Reptile unlocked the curious artifact to find a female Zaterran. As she awoke, Reptile felt himself slowly reverting back to his humanoid form. The glory of Zaterra will return once more.
In the canon version of events, Reptile died, fighting for the power of Blaze, and the alternate timeline was created when Raiden sent a message to the past warning his younger self about Shao Kahn's rise to power. Reptile played a much more prominent role in the original tournament. In this new era, Reptile is the last known member of the Saurians. He would give anything or destroy anyone to bring his people back. Before the first tournament began, he was ordered by Shao Kahn to spy on Shang Tsung and do anything he needed to ensure an outworld victory. Kahn was suspicious that the sorcerer was concocting plans of his own. Reptile's main loyalty lied with Shao Kahn, and he agreed. But Reptile's specialties worked best in the capacity of a spy, and Shang Tsung used him as a combatant for Outworld. His first opponent was Johnny Cage, and he lost.
Nice stunt. Who's your agent?
Peek in! All right, it's showtime!
Johnny Cage wins.
That's it. Ha ha! Oh yeah, I'm so pretty.
After Shang Tsung was defeated, Reptile assisted in bringing him in front of Shao Kahn to face judgment. But Reptile knew that he had also failed Shao Kahn as well, and lost favor in the Emperor's eye. He knew his life was in danger and slept with one eye open. And one night, Shao Kahn sent one of his best generals to assassinate Reptile, an Aztec warrior named Kotal. But Kotal saw the value a being such as Reptile offered, and decided not to kill him. Instead, he requested that Reptile be allowed into his ranks. Putting trust in his commander, Shao Kahn allowed Reptile to live, and Kotal would be his leader in the chain of command, an action that earned Reptile's respect. During the second tournament, Reptile stayed beside Shang Tsung's side as his guardian, and informed him that Kano had arrived with a stockpile of weapons for Outworld. In the living forest, while finalizing the weapons deal, Reptile and Shang Tsung faced smoke.
Tell me what you know of Sub-Zero's death. What?
Despite his failure at my tournament, I'll wager he was more powerful than you, Lin Kuei.
Assuming his form will not give you his skill, shapeshifter.
Let us see if smoke can freeze.
Smoke wins.
Later in the final rounds of the tournament, Reptile was summoned again to fight the younger Sub-Zero, seeking revenge over Bihan's death.
Shao Kahn, I challenge Scorpion, the murderer of my brother. You will bring him before me.
No one makes demands of the Emperor. Reptile!
Sub-Zero wins.
I would kill you, but that is not my purpose here.
In his non-canon Mortal Kombat 9 ending, Reptile forces Shang Tsung to recreate his race and leads legions loyal to him.
He forced Shang Tsung to regenerate his Raptor race. The process took agonizing months, but soon Reptile heard the snarls of young broodlings throughout the flesh pits. Eventually, Shang Tsung had created an army of Raptor warriors bred to serve Reptile. They stormed the realm, killing any Tarkatan, Shokan, or Centaur who opposed Reptile's rule. The intoxicating feeling of reuniting with his people blinded Reptile to the suffering of his former comrades. Reptile was home once more.
In the canon version of events, Liu Kang defeated Shao Kahn and the invasion of Earthrealm begins. The last time Reptile is seen in Mortal Kombat 9, he's fighting alongside Outworld forces and scales a building when he sees Stryker and Cabal.
What is that?
I'm thinking shoot first, ask questions later.
Fine with me.
Pistols!
It Eventually, the Earthrealm invasion fails, and Raiden sends Shao Kahn to his punishment by the Elder Gods. Shao Kahn's sudden disappearance throws Outworld into chaos, and Mileena takes the opportunity to step in as its new ruler, declaring that she was Shao Kahn's daughter and true heir to the throne. Her rule was even more tyrannical than Kahn's was, and she was known as the Mad Empress. Kotal took it upon himself to speak out against Mileena and her rule, and she furiously attacked him. Reptile selflessly put himself in the way and suffered an injury from her sai. Returning the favor, for the night Kotal allowed him to live. He survived, and he knew she was a false empress. Reptile had seen Shang Tsung creating her in his flesh pits and formed plans with Kotal to wrestle the title of Kahn away from her.
Like others, this one is not pleased with Mileena as Kahn, but it is not clear your crew will succeed.
That is why I invited our Zaterran friend.
Listen and join us. I know things about Mileena. Her troubled rule will fall in the telling and pave the way for Kotal.
What would you know that...
Ah, there they are. 3 of your fellow counselors, whispering like handmaidens. About what, I wonder? Speak your last, before I have your tongue.
You are not Shao Kahn's true heir. She is a construct, formed in Shang Tsung's flesh pits. I saw this. Your best claim to the throne is moot.
How dare you! I succeed Shao Kahn by his decree!
Succeed him you have, but Outworld demands new leadership.
From you, Aztec fool! Kill him!
Baraka is dead. Your last ally has left you.
Take her away.
Mileena escaped and went into hiding, forming a rebel group of her own. During the events of the Mortal Kombat X comic, Kotal, now Kotal Kahn, ruler of Outworld, struggled to maintain peace in his kingdom. Various factions fought for power, and the realm was in a state of constant civil war thanks to the efforts of Mileena attempting to reclaim her throne. Reptile stayed fiercely loyal to Kotal Kahn, and was always at his side, riding into battle against Kotal's enemies. He also witnessed the death of Kotal's father, and had the difficult duty of informing him of his father's demise. Kotal Kahn developed an immense respect for Reptile and was pleased to have such a loyal companion at his side. And Reptile proved to be a powerful ally, using his invincibility to protect his allies, snapping Shao Kahn necks with no warning and being wounded in battles. But no wounds would keep him from serving the only person that had a genuine respect for him. During the events of Mortal Kombat X, the Outworld Civil War is still being fought, and Kotal Kahn experiences betrayals from all sides. Shinnok was threatening to return, and D'Vorah was revealed to have been a double agent for Quan Chi when Reptile noticed that he was being spied on.
What is it?
Damn, he's made us.
Okay guys, standard diamond formation. Takeda, you're on point. Jackie, bring up the rear. Kung Jin, air cover.
You got it.
The Earthrealmers. D'Vorah freed them.
Natagasu! One down, 2 to go.
Reptile was defeated by Takeda, and he believed D'Vorah and the Earthrealmers had worked together to steal Shinnok's amulet.
D'Vorah, and the Earthrealmers?
She stole the amulet, then helped them escape.
She betrayed us to the Thunder God.
You wound me, D'Vorah. Prepare the legions. We go to Earthrealm. We will wrest back the amulet from that devil Raiden.
Later, when Shinnok returned and plunged Earthrealm into darkness, Reptile joined the attack group led by Kotal Kahn, and Reptile was forced to fight Jax's daughter, Jackie.
We have to tell them about Shinnok. Call a truce.
Bring them to me!
Or not.
The woods. Come on.
They're back.
We sense them, but the forest teems with souls.
Yes, so close. I see you.
Jackie, look out!
You hurt him? You answer to me. Go crawl back under your rock, Reptile.
Sub-Zero and the Lin Kuei were able to successfully push Kotal Kahn's forces back into Outworld, and Cassie Cage ended the threat of Shinnok. After his defeat, Kotal ordered Reptile back into Earthrealm to survey the damage done by Shinnok's invasion, and he finally found what he had been searching for so long.
Reptile was ordered to Earthrealm by Kotal Kahn to assess the damage. Such intel could prove useful in future conflicts. Stumbling upon a collapsed cavern, exposed during the crisis, Reptile was shocked to see raptors emerging from within. Unlike the rest of his race, these raptors had never left Earthrealm for the doomed realm of Zaterra, and thus had remained safe and hidden. Alone no more, Reptile vowed to remain with his rediscovered people and reclaim their Earthrealm homeland.
It's safe to assume that Reptile decided to stay with his people hidden deep below Earthrealm, since he was completely absent during the events of Mortal Kombat 11. Liu Kang became a god and reverted the timeline, creating a brand new era. And Reptile's role in that era is yet to be revealed. And that is the current history of Syzoth, Reptile.
Reptile wins.
Since you made it to the end of this video, I assume you enjoyed it, so why don't you go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any new content. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, links in the description below, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can join my Patreon or become a channel member. Never required, but greatly appreciated.